Welcome to the MindTalk podcast, where we delve into the roots of dis-ease, growing deep in the subconscious mind. I am your host, Diane Vanas, with 25 years in energy medicine. Today we will be doing a follow-up with Joyce. So she had a parallel belief system consisting of 3 systems, or like we refer to belief systems as trees. She had 3 trees growing in parallel to each other, and we worked on one of the trees already. We chopped it down. It was very enlightening, and so we're looking forward today to getting into the second tree. And so we just wanted to mention that the belief system work seemed very positive and encouraging her to live. But the medical system has other ideas for her. But whatever we do for Joyce today is what she needs with what she's going through and where she is with her life and her health. We work with mind, body, and spirit. So let's get started, Joyce. Tree number 2. This is actually inherited, so this is not your tree. And you inherited it from your father. And we will start at the top in the negative programs. That's like the leaves and branches. And we're in the heart chakra. So that's about love, and it's related to self. Now remember, these are your father's beliefs that you inherited, but they would still be playing out in your life throughout your whole life. And it's nobody wants me around. So you can see that is very negative. It was your father's belief, but then now you inherited it, so you believed it. And it's absolutely not true, because Joyce, you are a delight. And now we have another negative program in the heart chakra as well, and it's related to parents. I am unable to protest against my mother and father. So whatever was going on with him, he created that program that he couldn't protest against his parents. And then you probably weren't able to either. All right, we have another negative program in the crown chakra related to purpose. And it's life is never convenient. And we have another negative program. This one is in the third eye chakra, related to illness. And it's I am afraid of disease. So I remember that you had that same belief in the tree that we chopped down previously. So when you inherit a belief, a lot of times you recreate it in another system. Now let's drop down to the trunk of the tree, the limiting beliefs. Well, we're going deeper into the subconscious mind. And we're in the third eye chakra, related to body. My body is unpredictable. And we have another limiting belief in the root chakra, related to survival. And this is about sabotage. And it's I am the worst enemy of my children. So, not really sure what was going on, but he was your father. But he felt that, or he believed that. He had that limiting belief that he was an enemy. And it could have even been his inner children, not his actual children, you and your siblings. But whatever it is, it's coming up because it's going to be part of this system that's going to be cleared. And we have another limiting belief in the heart chakra related to children, and it's my child is a burden. So, like sometimes maybe when his wife was pregnant, when your mother was pregnant with you or another of your siblings, they could have been really strapped for finances to feed everybody or whatever. And a passing thought, could have been, oh no, this is a burden. And then it translates, my child is a burden. And then you get it as well. Now, you never had children, but you could have felt that you were a burden. Then we have the faulty core belief, and that is like the root or the seed that grew the tree. And it's in the root chakra, related to survival and sabotage. I need to be tough and impenetrable. So I don't know what kind of a father, you had, but he could have felt that he had to be that way, had to be tough. Because, back in the day, men, they weren't allowed to cry or show their feelings. They just have to be strong and tough. But then you get that particular belief too, where you might not let people in, or you think you got to do it alone or something like that, And there is actually a soil for this inherited tree. So it's what we call a faulty core identity. It's not your father's real identity, but it's the identity he created because of the environment that he was in and his experiences. And it's in the heart chakra related to self. And it's I am vulnerable. So let's read it back from the bottom. I am vulnerable. I need to be tough and impenetrable. My child is a burden. I am the worst enemy of my children. My body is unpredictable. I am afraid of disease. Life is never convenient. I am unable to protest against my mother and father, and nobody wants me around. So that was a terrible tree, right? And you inherited it. So let's, before we clear that, we want to find out if there's anything feeding and watering it. Even though it's inherited, it's using some kind of a source as fertilizer. And so let's see if there's some emotions. We'll just name them and clear them. Unless we're, required to find an age or something like that. So we have the emotion of disgust. Intending to release disgust and let it go. We have the emotion of worry. Releasing worry and letting it go. We have the emotion of grief. Releasing grief and letting it go. We have an emotion that's inherited from your father, and it's disgust. So releasing the inherited disgust and letting it go. Releasing rejection, letting it go. Worry, releasing worry and letting it go. Guilt, releasing guilt and letting it go. Releasing rejection and letting it go. Another rejection, releasing it and letting it go. Another rejection, releasing it and letting it go. Wow, there was a lot of emotions going on there. Okay, so you must feel lighter with all that released. We have some imbalances. We have a physical emotional shock. That is some type of an emotional shock that impacted you so much it affected you physically and emotionally. And I'm coming up with an age on that, 36 years old. So I don't know if that rings a bell for you. But we're just going to release that physical emotional shock and let it go from age 36. We also have the pituitary gland coming up. So that's a really important piece of the brain. And it's being imbalanced. So the energy body is being imbalanced. And there's another physical emotional shock related to taking other people's emotions on. So I think you had something similar before, but we just want to release that physical emotional shock, and then reset and balance the energy body and reset and balance the pituitary gland. We have a cord, so that's a negative attachment to usually a person that drains your energy or sabotages you in some kind of way. It's not healthy. And so this is actually to a woman, which is yourself at a younger age. So that can be, that's kind of a different type of a cord to have it to be to yourself at a younger age, but it's who you will be in paradise. So this is really beautiful in that you're cutting the cords of pain that tie you to the past or parts of your psyche that are painful. Maybe you suffered abuse or something like that, and you're cutting the cords. And you're seeing yourself as a younger person free of that pain in paradise. So let's just release the cord then with love. And we have a broadcast message. That kind of means you're sending out a message. I am weak. I am weak. Like a radio station plays a song. That's what you're playing. And so we want to release that broadcast message of I am weak and let that go. And so we've got now all the fuel sources identified and cleared. But now, Joyce, we're going to go back and clear that inherited belief system. So I'm just going to pause the recording so that we can do that. And then we'll come back on and we'll see if we have any positives to install. Okay, so wow. Got that cleared, that inherited belief system. And we have a positive to fill the gap. So like we chopped a tree down, we fill it with, I am a child of God. I have a right to be here. So that kind of replaces, that one, my child is a burden, or nobody wants me to be around. This is really wonderful to install this positive. I am a child of God. I have a right to be here. So I just love doing the work because it always ends up so positive. Even though we find out so many negative beliefs, we get rid of them. And they're really quite enlightening, because we really know on some level that we've got these negative beliefs that don't work for us. So it's like our personal darkness, and we shed a light on it, and then we install something really positive that feels so much better. So Joyce, I really love working with you, and we have another tree to chop, so hopefully we can get to that soon.